Welcome to this special Italian wine podcast broadcast. This episode is a recording off Clubhouse, the popular drop-in audio chat. This Clubhouse session was taken from the Wine Business Club and Italian Wine Club. Listen in as wine lovers and experts alike engage in some great conversation on a range of topics in wine. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. And remember to subscribe and rate our show wherever you tune in. This episode is proudly sponsored by Vivino, the world's largest online wine marketplace. The Vivino app makes it easy to choose wine. Enjoy expert team support, door-to-door delivery, and honest wine reviews to help you choose the perfect wine for every occasion. Vivino. Download the app on Apple or Android and discover an easier way to choose wine.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Italian Wine Club on Clubhouse. My name's Stevie Kim, and we are back. It is today's the Ambassador's Corner, the fireside chat with, of course, Michele Scienza, and he is the son of, yes, the same name, science, from Professor Attilio Scienza. So today's call is our 14th installment. We did it with Tanya Morningstar Darling last week. I don't see her today. And today it's with Slawek Kominski, of course. He is our new Italian wine ambassador. He has just been acclimated as the Italian wine ambassador, of course, for the Vinitaly International Academy. As you guys know, this room is being recorded, and we will drop this session further along the line later on for the Italian Wine Podcast. We'll start with Slawek first. Let me just give you an introduction to Slawek Kominski for those of you who have not met. He is our number one fan of the Italian Wine Podcast. So we got to know him quite early when we started the podcast. And he is from Poland. And he is the founder and owner of MineWine.pl. Listen, Slawek, would you like to open your mic and tell us, why don't you tell us what you do exactly? What is MineWine.pl? What is that?
Hello, Stevie. Hello, Michele. Ciao to everybody. Of course, I can give you some information about my company. MineWine is, I know that it's not grammatically correct in English, but it's our logotype is great. So MineWine looks amazing when you look at our logo. Okay. You can check it on our Facebook.
It rhymes, mine, wine. I guess that's what you did it?
Yeah, I'm not the miner for sure, but it's this. I started this project more than 12 years ago. It was my dream to create a company focused on wines. So I'm a wine importer and wine retailer on the Polish market. I'm the owner of 3 specialist wine store and 1 wine bar. And in the next few weeks, we will open another one. It will be our 4th place, also with the small wine bar. So I can say that we are not big importer and not big retailer, but very dynamic. And I've got great team, and all my team is full of people passionate of wines. And so we are a group of friends. Focus on the same subject. So it's my pleasure to be here. It's a great opportunity to meet great people. So hello, Melissa. Hello, Fanny, Paul, Eric. So many Chiro, so many friends here. So I hope that we will spend amazing few minutes right now.
And you're coming to Etna, right? I can't remember.
Yes, I can't wait because I have never been in Sicily.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I know that it's a little shame for the Italian wine ambassador. I visited Italy many times, but I have never been in Sicily. It will be my first time. So my suitcase is ready.
Oh, that's fantastic. Great. Listen, so I know, of course, we always get to talk about how you met the chosen producer. and why you chose Michele Scienza.
Yes, I tell you my secret, how I create my wine portfolio, and I think that it will be an answer for this question. Okay, so when I'm looking for something new to add to our selection, first of all, we score the wines, of course, the quality of wines, the typicity, and how they are suited to our market and preferences of our customers. And the second issue is business arguments. So the prices, the payment conditions, flexibility with the logistics, etc. And the last, but absolutely not least issue is a person with whom we will do a business together. And all these issues met together at the same time and at the one tasting table when I met Michele for the first time during the MineWine event in Florence. And after this last years of our cooperation, I can say that my first impression is 100% confirmed. So great wines at reasonable prices and the personality of the owner and the winemaker. And I can also say that when I got to know Michele closer, I loved his sense of humor. It's not typical for the Italians. It's more northern, maybe more British or Scandinavian. I don't know why. Maybe his roots from Trentino, Alto Adige created. But each time when we meet, we are joking and laughing. And I like to spend the time with Michele. But of course, Michele is fantastic winemaker, and his knowledge of every aspect of wine production is outstanding. So this is the reason.
Fantastic. Maybe he got his sense of humor from his father.
Could be. Unfortunately, I don't speak Italian, so I can't understand the sense of humor of Professor Attilio, but probably yes.
Okay. So listen, let's get to the learning objectives, as that is a tradition. What do we expect to learn from your chat with Michele Scienza today?
Yeah, I try to take a deep dive into Bulgari with Michele. So we will talk about the history of this part of Tuscany, but also a little bit of the present days. We will talk also about Guado Almelo wines because it's some unique project, very interesting to discover for every wine lover. But I'm going to ask Michele a more personal question as well about Scienza's family and how it is to be a son of the famous father.
Okay, that's fantastic. By the way, we are dropping a video on the Mama Jumbo Shrimp video channel, YouTube channel tomorrow, because last month I went down to Bulgari for their celebration. In the Viale dei Cipressi, they hosted this huge for 1,000 guests and outdoor dinner celebration, and I saw Michele actually about a month ago. So hopefully you guys get a chance to see that tomorrow. I believe Joy is dropping that video tomorrow on the YouTube channel. Okay, over to you, Slawek.
Yes, thank you, Stevie. Hello, everybody, once again. Hello, Michele. I will make a little introduction of Michele to other of our listeners. So, Michele Scienza is a co-owner and personally takes care of the vineyard and the winery in Guado Almelo in Bulgari. He has lived in the world of wine since childhood, becoming passionate about the production aspect. And his dream was to be a winemaker, like his grandparents. And during and after the technical and the scientific studies, he built a knowledge, experience, and sensibility of enology, working in the family business, but also in other wineries. And his roots are in Trentino Alto Adige, but he moved with his family to Bulgari in 90s. And there, in this coastal part of Tuscany, he started to realize his dream and passion to wine production. And of course, thanks to the support of his family, and especially his father, Professor Michele Scienza, and his wife, Annalisa. And I share with you my opinion about Michele. Michele is one of the busiest person I know. Is when I try to call Michele, it's no chance that he pick up the phone at the first time. And so, but as I mentioned at the beginning, Michele, it's a great person, and I love to spend the time with him.
Have you visited his estate, Guadalmelo, in Bulgaria?
Yes, I visited Guado Almelo 2 times. The first time it was in 2015 with the group of the importers. It was a study tour in Val di Cornia and in Bulgaria. And that was my second experience with Guado Almelo and with Michele. And I absolutely fell in love in this place because Michele is a great winemaker, of course, but also in his property. With his wife, he create. We will talk about it. I hope a little later. They create a wine museum, absolutely fantastic. With the start of the beginning of the wine production on the Italian peninsula. So it's of course a lot of artifacts from the Etruscan times, and it's the story of wine production in Italy. It's absolutely great. And they also in their properties, they've got also the wine book library. I think that it's the biggest wine book library in all Italy. So I think that for all people who are interested in wines, this place is absolutely must be to visit when you will be in Bulgaria, in that part of Tuscany. And of course, this place is also amazing with the beautiful landscape. And when the weather is good, you can see the Tyrrhenian Sea. So the place is really, really great.
So you're importing his wine and selling his wine, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So what kind of wines? First of all, why don't you tell us a little bit about his wine?
Yeah, so of course, Michele, as every wine producer in Bulgaria, based his wines on the French grape varieties. So Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Shiraz, etc. On the other hand, Michele create great own absolutely unique project. And it's 2 wines. One of them is called Criseo. It's a white wine. And the second one, which is absolutely unique, is called Giassarte, and it's a blend of 30 different grape varieties. And I hope that Michele will explain and we will tell us more about this wine and this project, because it's not only wine; it's the whole project. Absolutely fascinating.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I have a very bad connection.
Okay, just stay in that place. Abemus Michele Scienza. Okay. I'm leaving now. Goodbye. Michele, stai fermo.
Bye-bye.
Stai fermo.
Io sto qua, ma è la...
Sì, ma
I'm
non
sorry,
muoverti.
but the connection is...
Ok, ma stai
sto
lì.
fermo.
Ok,
Basta.
stai lì.
Sto
Okay.
fermo.
Ciao.
Yeah, ciao.
Okay, Michele, finally.
Yeah.
It's great to be with you here. And first of all, thank you so much that you have accepted the invitation for our today's meeting, especially that we know that you are now in the very intense and the most important time for every wine producer. So let me ask you at the beginning of our conversation how the harvest is going this year, and what is your forecast for the vintage 2021 in Bulgaria?
Hello to everybody. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm very happy. Today I finished my harvest, and now I'm very relaxing. Now I can go to holiday for 10 months. So
which bottle you are going to open this evening?
I didn't open wine because I didn't want to drink nothing, because for our conversation. Otherwise, the problem was that I would be drunk, and then you know,
yes,
you can imagine. So,
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, you can imagine. So the harvest was absolutely very good. You know, every producer every year say that the last harvest is better than the other one. But I think that in Bulgaria, 2021, it is a very, very good harvest. We have a very good condition. We have rain during winter and spring. We have finally 4 months without rain. Fortunately, not too hot, too much. And we harvest great grape with very good balance between acidity and sugar and polyphenols. And I think that's one of the best in the last 20s, I think. Yeah, for me.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Michele. So we know that your winery is located in the Bulgari area, in the western coastal part of Tuscany. So could you explain to our listeners the main differences between the Bulgari and other well-known wine regions of Tuscany, such as Montalcino, Chianti Classico, Montepulciano?
Absolutely. Yeah, the one biggest is the weather, because we are very close to the sea. From our vineyard to the sea, we have very few kilometers without hill in the middle between vineyard and the sea. So we keep the weather condition from the sea. We have a Mediterranean weather. So, and this is not the same in the middle of Tuscany that they have continental weather. So we have a very mild condition during winter and summer. In summertime, we have big difference between night and day in temperature. And this is very important, to preserve the acidity and the aromas of the grape, and then also for the wines. And this is unique because if you see Tuscany, Bulgaria is the unique area that is so close to the sea, and this is very important for the soils also. We have big difference because in Montalcino normally the soils are very clay, very powerful, very heavy soils. In the Chianti area they have big difference, but normally they have rocks and then sometimes soils not very deep. Bulgaria is for 80% light soils, sandy soils, very deep, so the grape can grow, the roots can take the water from the soil very easy, and the cultivation sometimes is almost perfect. So the wine are very balanced for this reason. Means that we don't have big tannins or big acidity like in Montalcino that you need 5-6 years aging before sell the wine. And also the Chianti sometimes are powerful, concentrated, and heavy tannins and big acidity. Our wines are more comfortable, more soft, more easy to drink.
Yeah, and Michele, this is all these aspects that you talk about. It's also the reason why the French grape variety, especially the Bordeaux grape variety, found the great terroir. But let's focus a little on the Bulgaria's history, because this region, although it is relatively young on the Italian wine map, has a very interesting past.
Yeah, it depends. The cultivation in Bulgaria is very old. The Etruscan populations start to grow the grape before Romans, so more than 2,000 years ago. and the cultivation was absolutely normal here. Then making wine was also normal, because this is the traditional in Italy. What's changed is that in the middle of 19th century, some producers started to introduce other grapes from Bordeaux area, particularly, so Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, and Cabernet Franc. And these allow us to produce different wines from the other part of Tuscany that are more focused on Sangiovese grape. But the future, the future, I think not. We know that what is important is that people in this area grow the grape since more than 3,000 years. Which grapes they cultivate, I think, is not so important, because the grape are more related to the movement of the people, and they are related to the markets, to the taste of the people. And we can say about grape the change in our area, in our territory, since many years. It's not so, it's not so, is a long speak, about grape, and it's very difficult.
Yeah. Okay, Michele, so maybe let's talk a little more about the contemporary times. I think that all our listeners know what Sassicaia is and how this wine has revolutionized the wine industry, not only in Bulgaria or Tuscany, but in all of Italy. Could you tell us how it happened and how this revolution influenced for the world of wine in Italy?
You mean the Super Tuscan wines, or?
Yes, I'm talking about it.
The Super Tuscans was a situation that it was strange, because the Super Tuscans was born in Chianti area. The Chianti, this was late 60s. You know that in Italy at the time, before that time, the growers, the not only the wine growers, but the farmers, they didn't belong the soils, but they have small part of soils, and in this small part of estates, they grow grape, wheat, and they have chicken and cow and some other. So the grape was not grow to make wine to sell with label, but it was only food, like a food for the people. What's changed, and this kind of viticulture was not intensive, so it means that the number of plants for every surface was low, and the wine was very light, with low level of alcohol. But in the Chianti was a problem. In Italy was a big problem, because in 1970 the number of people that drink wine fall down. So many people doesn't like the wine. The problem that it was that we had to have a lot of wine not sell. So in Chianti, they think that the only way to exit from this situation, very difficult, it was to create new wines, mixing the Sangiovese, particularly was the Sangiovese, the grape that very typical for that area, with international grapes, so Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Cabernet Franc. And this was the born of Super Tuscans. The same situation was in Bulgaria when Marchese Incisa della Rocchetta decided to plant some international grape, because the request, from the market was in this direction. The most important wine at that time were French. The French wine from Bordeaux placed in the best restaurant in the world. So this was, the idea, the direction. So this was the reason why to plant international grape like Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot and Cabernet Franc and make these kind of wines, the super Tuscan wines.
Yes, but as we mentioned before, also we can say that French grape varieties or international grape varieties found a great place to grow in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Because this condition that we talk about, the influence of the sea and the specific of the soil.
Yes, absolutely. But consider that, after that, the first proposal was to create a different wine. Then they, fortunately, they choose the Cabernet Sauvignon because the Cabernet Sauvignon and the Cabernet Franc and the Merlot found in that area a perfect place. Try to think about Marchese Incisa della Rocchetta, the father of Sassicaia, that choose at that time Pinot Noir. I think we will not here to speak this night, I think, or not.
Yes, probably.
What do you think about?
I agree with you, Michele. Yes.
So you are right, but in all things and in the business also, you need to be lucky. Otherwise, So it was a great idea, but he has lucky to choose the right, grape, and the results. Sassicaia won't speak without us, so speak alone.
Yeah. Okay, Michele. So now I would like to ask you about your own business, about the Guado al Melo.
Yeah.
As it started and what role in this undertaking your father, Professor Latilio, received.
Yeah.
Michele, it is very important question for us, the VIA members, because you need to know that your father is like a guru for our community. Yeah? So how it started.
It was start from Trentino to Adige. In fact, we come from Trentino. My family originally produced wines in Trentino to Adige, in the south of Trentino. And in 1998, my grandparents died. So me and my father, we decided to leave Trentino and to start with a new company in Bulgaria. Bulgaria was the area because my father did a great study about soil and weather in Bulgaria in between 1994 and 1996. So he knows very well the area, and the idea was immediately Bulgaria. We brought around 10 hectares, and in 2003-4 we built the cellar, and our first label was bottled in 2003 and was the 2002 vintage.
Okay. While we were waiting for you, Michele, I talk a little bit about your property and about amazing projects that you created.
Number of grapes, because we planted over 100 different grapes. Actually, the proposal, the idea was to. That viticulture is improving, the enology improve, the market of wine change, the weather, the climate change, so everything is change. So we need to prepare ourselves. We need to prepare our production. How to plant many grapes and to taste every year how these grapes can grow and how is the wine produced from this grape. So this is the idea and why we planted so many grapes. So there are grapes that come from many parts of the world, and they are very old grapes, but we have new breed, new plants also. And we have great result from this work. Consider that my last release of Atis, my most important wine, Bolgheri Superiore, is a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, and Rebo, the 2017. So we planted this grape many years ago, and this year we decided to use in the blend the Rebo, because we consider that Rebo is absolutely much better than Merlot in Bolgheri for our opinion.
Oh, Michele, I have never heard about it. Could you tell us a little more details about the Rebo?
Yes. Rebo is a breed made in Trentino Alto Adige by the genetist Rigotti, Rebo Rigotti, and is a breed between Teroldego and Merlot. So it is a breed. It's very interesting because is a Merlot. In fact, that is absolutely better than Merlot because preserve much more the acidity than Merlot, and has a great color and is without problem about the green sensation. You know that all the Bordelaise grape sometimes has the problem about green leaf, green pepper, and something like that. But the Rebo doesn't have this problem, and is perfect. So it's perfect in the blend because it's very smooth and very powerful, like a Merlot, but without the problem in green sensation and in the low acidity of Merlot.
Okay, that's great. It's something unexpected.
And you need to taste that.
Yeah, of course. If you will send me the bottles, I will taste it.
Absolutely, tomorrow.
Okay, that's great. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Stevie, because I earned one bottle more thanks to this Clubhouse. Okay, but Michele, I need to ask you a little more about the Giassarte, because you know that it's. But I must tell also the rest of our listeners that Giassarte is my favorite wines from your selection. So tell us, please, a little more about this absolutely unique project.
Yeah, this is absolutely interesting. This wine, it was born to recover in a very old tradition that comes from Mediterranean area. And this tradition was to make wine from single vineyard with many grapes together. This tradition was a natural way to produce wine before the phylloxera events. So before the phylloxera, the vineyard were planted with many grapes together, and it was natural to harvest all these grapes to make a wine. So the different grape gave to the wine some different aromas, but also acidity and complexity and powerful and what you want. So this wine, the Giassarte, comes from this single vineyard where we planted 30 different grapes from different areas and all reds. And the difference between the past is that we don't vinify all the grapes and we don't harvest all the grapes together. But we do normally seven different harvests. We harvest the grape at the right time. So we make 7 harvests, 7 wines. And these 7 wines, after 2 years aging in wood, we blend together. And the result is this wine made by 30 grapes.
Wow, it's absolutely great. And this is my advice to all of our listeners, that you need to try this wine because it's absolutely fantastic and absolutely unique. And okay, Michele, when I visited you last time at the beginning of July, we had a very interesting and inspiring discussion about the trend of natural wines or wines without human intervention. And we both agree that, and we both have the same point of view. But I would like to ask you, Michele, to share your approach to this trend with the rest of our listeners.
Yeah, I think that I can understand what natural wines want to tell to us, or natural producer. You know that unfortunately sometimes the winemaker try or they have some technical things, technical, way they sometimes they boring, not too exciting. They are too much industrial, too much not very interesting. So I think the natural wine are a kind of reaction to this way of production. But because the name is not really something interesting, because the grape without the human work is nothing. The wine, the grape doesn't go in the bottle without the work of one maker. So, and the history tell us that the man creates the wine, because the wine with the alcohol is a connection between the people and the God. This is the importance of the wine in our history. So speaking about natural wine, I think is not really something, real. What we need to do, I think from the point of view of a winemaker, we need to use low work in our cellar, because if you have a very great grape, your work in the cellar is nothing, is absolutely nothing. But if you don't have very good grape, you need to work a lot, but sometimes the result of the wine is not very interesting, because if you work too much, your work is against the result, so it's not so exciting, in fact. So I think that I don't want to speak about natural wine.
Yeah, but of course we can speak about the sustainability, because this is one of the key.
This is the other key is if we speak about the impact of our work, we need to speak about the work in the field and work in the cellar, and we need to reduce our effect, in the field, in the environment. So this is important. But that we speak about natural wine or sometimes organic wine, and they use a lot of copper, because to make they need to use a lot of copper. So this is not a way, is not an answer to this kind of problem. So I think we have the technology and the science give us many different new things to work and to reduce our impact. Is not the answer to our question is not to see back, but to see forward to the new technologies, and these are our answer. So,
Yes, exactly, Michele. I think that we need to create some space for our listeners to ask you also a question. So that will be my final question. Of course, I've got some more, but let me ask you a question that can be a bit controversial. So how it is to be and work in the same industry as the son of such a famous father? Does it help or not?
No, it's help, absolutely. Why not? Why not?
Because maybe you can be a little in the in the shadow of your father.
No, it's absolutely, it's very easy because my father has an idea about wines, and I have another one. But I am the winemaker, so I do what I want. Final.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So
my father is a viticulture professor. He's not a winemaker.
Yeah, so we can say that you've got the one of the greatest wine consultant in the world in the one table.
Yes, absolutely. But I have the possibility to work my father or not. So I choose.
Yeah.
I can choose.
Okay, that's great. So I think that now we can open the room and the discussion to the rest of our listeners. So if you have any questions for to our guest, to Michele, so the floor is yours. I don't know, Stevie, can you moderate this part?
Sure, absolutely. So, well, Michele, thank you for coming. This was supposed to be a fireside chat with you. So this is a good time if anybody from the to raise their hand, and I'll bring them up onto the stage. Michele, did you want to say something? Listen, so if anybody wants to ask a question, please raise your hand. In the meantime, I did want to just give a shout out to, of course, Leica, our backstage Clubhouse manager. Enjoy. You'll be doing a little bit of work here in terms of editing this episode. I see Pietro Russo. Ciao, Pietro. For those of you not already signed up for Wine to Wine, I know I'll be seeing Paul. Of course, I'll be seeing Fanny. I'll be seeing Pietro, Slawek. I'll see you in Etna. Andre will also be speaking about Latvian wine market. Pietro will have the honor of moderating a special session of Cara Maurer, who's the Master of Wine, and Helga Louise Schroeder, Master Sommelier, MS. And the session will be MW versus MS. So it will be a very interesting session for him to moderate at Wine to Wine. I'm very, very much looking forward to that session as well. If you guys haven't signed up, just log on to winetowine.net. We have about 70 sessions, 3 tracks on site in person and 2 tracks online virtually. And all of the sessions will be streamed and available for replay for about two months probably. And then some of them will, of course, be also broadcasted later on the podcast. Okay, Slawek, no one's raised their hand. Do you want to ask him another couple of questions? We have a few more minutes left.
Yes, I'm back. Yes, maybe it's a space to ask Michele once again, because to tell us a little more about the wine library and wine museum in your property, Michele. Could you tell us something more? Because it's also very interesting.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, because this is a absolutely unique part of our estate, because we have a very nice museum dedicated to many things, many items about the history of Etruscan people that live in our area, about many instruments used in the agriculture, in viticulture, and we have a collection of very old books.
How many books are there? I thought because Attilio had said that it was about 25,000. Is that correct?
The number increases every day.
Okay. So. but how do you find it? I know Melissa had been, Sue Tolson, I see in the audience. They've been to the estate and they've been to the library. We had actually a small conference there. But how do you even find any of the books? Like, what is there? I know it's mostly your wife who's minding the library. What is the methodology in terms of like archiving and actually finding the book so that it can be useful?
But consider that we didn't actually we don't have a system at the moment. Next week, my father will start to make a archivation of the books because actually we don't have anything. We have we store the book, but without archivation.
Great. Sounds like a great method to me. It's almost like it's the perfect library for Professor Attilio Scienza. By the way, everyone, he has been named the Man of the Year for Premio Masi, and there will be a celebration on the 23rd of October. So we'll be doing a special coverage. Michele, are you coming up to Verona for that?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. We will be representing, his fan club personally. So, and we will document, as you know, everything so that we can share also with our community. We're so excited. Of course, incredibly well deserved. He has been such a great contributor to the Vinitaly International Academy. And he has been incredibly helpful and most importantly generous. So we are really grateful and honored to have him as our chief scientist. For those who have not had the opportunity to meet him, I hope you get a chance soon. I know Fanny, Paul, they had a chance to meet him during the flagship edition this year in June. Did you want to say anything else, Slawek and Michele, before we close up the room?
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to create this meeting. So thank you so much, Stevie. Thank you so much, Laika, for organizing everything. And of course, thank you, Michele,
thank you so much
for your time in this busy period. And I hope that now you will have a space to open something absolutely unique at the end of your harvest.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you so much for joining us. We dropped today on the Italian Wine Podcast, Alberto Martinez Interiano. These episodes have been incredibly popular because we usually do the sessions, all the interviews usually last anywhere from 15 minutes to half an hour, some of them a little longer. And we were a little concerned about releasing these, sessions, the Clubhouse sessions on the podcast, but they have been incredible. They are the most popular, actually, episodes on the Italian Wine Podcast. So congratulations to everybody, the entire mod squad, from Cynthia Shawen, Jill Gordon-Smith, Ciro Pirone, there was Alice Wong, Paul Bologna, I see you, Queroli, Jody Hellman, Hugh Priest, of course, he dropped, with Ariana Occhipinti, incredibly popular episode. And then we'll be dropping Susanna Gold, Tanya, and then Slawek. And next week, come back. It's crazy. We are so busy, but we are dedicated. We're the diehards. So we will still be coming back next week on the 14th of October. That's next Thursday, 8 p.m. with Mark Millen. And that is all. So see you guys next Thursday. Ciao ragazzi, and see you in Verona or Etna.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Sniff, sniff, sip, sip, and swirl. Once again, here we go. Swirl, sniff.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.
everybody. Italian Wine Podcast celebrates its 4th anniversary this year, and we all love the great content they put out every day. Chin Chin with Italian wine people has become a big part of our day, and the team in Verona needs to feel our love. Producing the show is not easy, folks. Herding all those hosts, getting the interviews, dropping the Clubhouse recordings, not to mention editing all the material. Let's give them a tangible fan hug with a contribution to all their costs. Head to ItalianWinePodcast.com and click donate to show your love.